Hello everyone, this is Preeti here. I hope you're all doing well. And today we are going to see about S Bank. So, what is NPA? NPA means non performing assets or bad loans, and how it impacted S Bank. First, let's see about S Bank history. So, S Bank is India's private sector commercial bank and it's the fourth largest private sector bank in India. Its headquarters is located in Mumbai and it was started by Rana Kapoor and Ashok Kapoor in 2004. Unluckily, Ashok Kapoor passed away in the Mumbai attack. S Bank has over 1,000 branches and 1,800 ATMs in 28 banks and 9 union territories, and its products, that is banking and financial products, includes complete investment, corporate and commercial banking services, that is giving credit or loans to the clients in India as well as internationally. Its three subsidiary companies are S Bank, S Capital and S Asset Management Services, and it has its equities or shares in Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange and the bonds in London Stock Exchange. The initial public offering of S Bank shares was listed in the stock exchange at an issue price of Rs 45, and the shareholders as of March 2018 of S Bank are foreign portfolio investors, which is about 43%, insurance companies, which is about 14%, mutual funds, which is 10%, and the rest by its small investors, including the founder, Rana Kapoor, around 4%. Coming to the S Bank's fast growth. The S Bank started in 2004 and shows a slow and steady progress in its initial years and one of the busiest banks between the year 2004 to 2015. Though it has faced a recession during the year 2008 and 2009, which is called this global economic crisis, it has adopted proactive strategies and retail expansions and started building a brand during that crisis. The bank has consistently used the social media during that time, like Twitter and Facebook, and it is famous for its campaign with Context Cards, which was recognized as the best strategy for customer acquisition in opening the savings bank account in S Bank. The S Bank has given the Greenfield License Award by the RBI and it was ranked as number 3 as India's best listed public and private sector banks in the year 2006. So it has a very slow and steady growth and it's just the blooming years of S Bank. Coming to the S Bank crisis, which has not happened all of a sudden but in a slow motion. The S Bank, which is the fifth largest private sector lender, took more risk in lending loans or credits to corporate clients and the companies. But the companies failed to repay the loans because of their business losses. So some of the companies which failed to repay the loans are Devon Housing Finance, CG Power, Vodafone, Easel Group, DHFL, Anil Ambani Group, etc. Because of these issues, as the NPA was building up, Rana Kapoor was forced to step down as CEO of the bank by RBI on 31st Jan 2019 and now he is in the custody of CBI. You know why? Because the Enforcement Directorate thought that he has taken a bribe of Rs 600 crore to lend the money for the corporate companies. Though the Reliance Infrastructure has defaulted the interest and the principal payments, still there are many companies which have not repaid their loans. The S Bank's poor corporate governance by Rana Kapoor, who is the founder, and risky credit decisions resulted in higher NPA ratio. NPA means non-performing assets ratio, which trembles or shakens the confidence of the investors and the depositors. So the depositors, creditors and the investors has lost the hope on the S Bank. On the right side, I have shown how Rana Kapoor has got a bribe of Rs 600 crore to lend money for the corporate companies without any assurance that they repay it. And the S Bank loan growth is around 35% increased from the year 2014 to 2019. That is, in the financial year 2014, the loan was around 55 crore. In the financial year 2019, it was grown up to 2,41 crore. So what is NPA? It's a very important factor in the banking sector, especially that it is called as bad loans. So NPA is called as non-performing assets or bad loans, which are the loans that has been not paid by the borrower. The borrower may be an individual or the corporate company or an industry for more than 90 days. It may be an interest or the principal payment. So the S Bank's gross NPA is around 18.87%, which is the highest in the private sector banking. On the right side, I have shown how the loans are classified. For example, if the bank is giving the loan to us for our individual purpose or for our business, then they're going to classify according to this. There are two types, namely standard assets and non-performing assets. Under standard assets, we have regular and stressed. Regular means we are regularly paying the loans. That is called regular. That is no delay. Coming to stressed loans, if we repay the loans between 1 to 90 days, then it is called stressed loans. Under stressed loans, we have SMA 0, SMA 1 and SMA 2. SMA 0 means if we repay the loans within 30 days, then it is called SMA 0. If we repay the loans between 31 to 60 days of getting it, then we say as SMA 1. If we repay the loans between 61 to 90 days, then it is called as SMA 2. For example, if we can't repay the loan for more than 3 months, like more than 90 days, because of our personal issues or our business losses, then it is classified as non-performing assets. Under non-performing assets NPA, we have substandard assets, we have doubtful assets and loss assets. Substandard assets are the assets where NPA for up to 12 months. Doubtful assets where NPA is greater than 12 months. And the loss assets are the non-recoverable assets, which means that the bank can't get that loan from the client or the borrower. So what are the actions taken by the RBI after the Yes Bank has a very bad financial position? The first action by RBI was on March 5th, where he announced that it takes the place of Yes Board of Directors for a period of 30 days due to the worst financial position of the bank. And the Yes Bank said that it has no alternative but to place the Yes Bank under moratorium. What does mean by moratorium? So, the Yes Bank is not allowed to pay any depositor more than Rs 50,000 without the permission from RBI. This is what most of the depositors faced, and they were very much scared that they are going to lose all their deposited money. Second, the Yes Bank will not be able to grant or renew any loan or advance from any individual or the companies during this moratorium period or 30-day period. So SBI picked up nearly 49% of stake and holds at least 26% for the next 3 years. So SBI is the first bank who just come to invest in the Yes Bank to recover from this losses. Can you unscramble the letters which I have shown on the right? The hint is a legal authorization to the debtors to postpone the payment. Yes, the answer is moratorium. A legal authorization to the debtors or the depositors to postpone their payment for a particular period to rebind the stability or to bring back the financial position of the bank. How the Yes Bank was rescued. Yes Bank has emerged much stronger with the newly appointed MD and CEO by RBI, who is Prashant Kumar, and the equity support coming from 8 largest lenders, or we can say investors of rupees 10,000 crore. So the major lenders in Yes Bank for the rescue plan are SBI, who just invested rupees 6,000 crore and just bought the shares. HDFC Bank invested 1,000 crores in Yes Bank. ICICI Bank 1,000 crores. Axis Bank 600 crores. Kotak Mahindra Bank 500 crores. Federal Bank 300 crores. And IDFC First Bank rupees 250 crores. So these were the major lenders or the investors on the Yes Bank to rescue from the losses. Addressing the press conference, Kumar said that the provision coverage ratio. What is provision? Provisions are the backup amount that every bank should possess in order to face the emergency losses. So provisions coverage ratio of the bank has been increased from 43% to 72%. The moratorium imposed by RBI on March 5th has lifted on March 18th itself, which is before the original date which was planned already, that is on April 3rd. With RBI's liquidity assurance, the Yes Bank stock surged again because many big investors like SBI, HDFC, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Federal Bank and IDFC Bank just gave a lot of hope to the customers that it's going to regain its strength and it's going to reborn. So it issues the FPO, that is follow a public offering, to raise the capital to account for all the provisions. And one important thing, The RBI has announced all the investors not to sell 75% of their shares for the next 3 years. They may sell or they may not sell the other 25%, but it's up to the investors. So what are the big mistakes and the lessons learned from the Yes Bank? So according to me, it's not the mistakes that matters, it's how the RBI deals with this Yes Bank problem, what they have learned from it, how the investors come into action or rescue plan, and how this helps to learn a lesson for the other banking sectors. The first big mistake is that the RBI found that the Yes Bank has underreported the bad loans by rupees 3,277 crore in the financial year 2019. Though many of the public sector banks in the past have recorded more NPAs than Yes Bank, the Yes Bank has done a fraudulent practice which was not acceptable. Number 2 is that PCA, that is Central Bank's prompt correction action, was very unhappy with the Yes Bank's functioning, that is Rana Kapoor's governance and its fraudulent practices. If the Yes Bank has reported the bad loans properly in the year 2019, and if the government has kept an eye on Yes Bank when there is a huge jump of Yes Bank's NPA and losses from 2018, then that early detection and timely action would have helped the Yes Bank crisis. According to the recent report, the NPA ratio is going to spike nearly 1.9% and credit cost ratio by 130 base point in 2020 in India in the banking sector due to the COVID-19 impact. So many have lost their jobs and they can't repay their loans. Many business was undergoing the losses, so they can't repay the loans all of a sudden. The banks have provisions to face this economic slowdown due to COVID-19? Yeah, they have provisions separately to tackle the losses during this COVID-19 period, as well as they have bad loans provision also to overcome the losses. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving, which was a famous quote given by Warren Buffett. I hope you like this video. For more videos, keep watching this channel, UGC Net MBA Aspirants. Thank you.